Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1438A, and today's date is December 3rd, 2017, and the title of the episode is that BRICS establish a gold trading system to reduce the reliance on the dollar. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, just recently, Russia, China, and many other nations, they met up at the Russian Bullion Market Conference. And this is formerly known as the Russian Bullion Awards. This conference, now in the 10th year, took place on Friday, November 24th. And it took place in Moscow. And what they said there, and we discussed this a little bit in previous reports, that the BRIC nations, Russia, China, India, South Africa, they were going to establish a gold trading network. And during this meeting, this is exactly what they're going to do. The BRICS group of countries, they are now in discussions to establish their own gold trading system. And why are they going to do this? Well, this looks like this is the last phase of everything they've been doing. Now, think about what they've been doing in the past. They duplicated the payment system, which they duplicated the SWIFT payment system. They duplicated the trading systems out in China. They created the Petro Yuan. There is also a Petro Ruble. They've been hoarding a lot of gold, and they've been separating themselves from the dollar. Now, 4 of these nations are among the world's major gold producers, namely China, Russia, South Africa, and Brazil. Furthermore, 2 of these nations are the world's 2 largest importers and consumers of physical gold, namely China and Russia. So that these economies have in common is that they are all major players in the global physical gold market. Now, the Memorandum of Understanding on Gold Trading between the Bank of Russia and the People's Bank of China refer to what was actually signed in September of this year when the deputy governors of the 2 central banks jointly chaired an inter-country meeting on financial cooperation in the Russian city of Sochi. Now, the Chinese central bank still officially claims to hold around 1,842 tons of gold in its national gold reserves. It looks like the Bank of Russia, as soon as the first quarter of 2018, will have the distinction of holding more gold than the Chinese. Now, of course, the Chinese might come out and say they have a lot more than they are saying, but at this point it looks like Russia is taking the lead. Now, they want to establish a new gold pricing benchmark. Now, think about this for a second. The gold trading in London and on the COMEX is really trading at very large quantities of synthetic derivatives on gold, which are completely detached from the physical gold market. What these countries want to do is they want to price gold on the physical market. Now, of course, the central banking system, they don't like this, especially when the system is being driven by stimulus, creating more currency out of thin air, making sure it's a paper market, making sure you don't like gold. The reason why they're moving into a physical gold trading system is because the system we're on right now is ending. And they have to make sure that everyone is confident in the new system. This is where people get a little confused. Russia and China, this is still the central banking system. And the central banks, what they like to do is they like to trick the public, where they're saying, oh, this is the old system, and it was paper-driven, and it was out of control, and they don't come out and say this, but this is what they're doing right now. And everyone looks at that and says, okay, look what they did. They put the world into debt. This is a new system, and we are backing this by real money. So there's all the checks and balances, and nobody can print much more than they really need, and they make the world believe that this is what they're going to do. And then eventually what's going to happen, they're going to take us off the gold system, and they're going to do the whole thing all over again. Now, again, they just can't do this. They need a distraction. They need something to take everyone and say, look over here. This is the reason why the old system died, because of cyber attacks, because of a war, or because of anything else. And after this whole entire event or war, whatever we have, this is why we need to go on to the new system, and this is how we're starting the new system. And they make it seem really, really good. So this new system is going to allow the BRICS to become more independent of the U.S. trade influence. Russia and China have been preparing to launch oil futures market in St. Petersburg and Shanghai, with oil being priced in rubles and yuan. And we can see that they're already starting this, because what's happening is everything is shifting right now. So first of all, it's going to reduce the U.S. dollar dominance in the world trade. Second, it will increase the price of gold on the world markets in general. Third, it will probably make the BRICS more independent of the U.S. influence in regards of trade. Such an initiative will signal an important fundamental change, and the BRICS will receive the benefits from all this. It will also signal the West that they need to follow suit or lose out economically. And we see right now that the central bank, the cabal here in the United States, they are trying to hold on to the entire economic system. They don't want to let it go, because think about all the power they have. They have the world reserve currency. They can place sanctions on other countries. They can force countries to do things economically, and if they don't, they send in the troops. They send in, the strong arm to force them to do what they want. This is all coming to an end. The reset is already in motion. We're just watching the whole thing play out right now. And we've been watching this for a very long time. If we go back just 2 or 3 years ago, when everyone was laughing and saying, oh, there's not going to be a duplicate payment system in Russia or China. Now there is. Oh, they're not going to create a whole trading system in China. Now there is. Oh, they're not going to create a physical gold trading system. Well, here it comes. Oh, they're not going to create the petro yuan, or the yuan is not going to be included in the SDR basket. Well, here it is. Everything that we talked about, everything that we've been saying has been happening. Now, of course, just because we say it, it doesn't happen the next day. These things take time. They knew it. It took these central banks to move all manufacturing out of the U.S., to move everything someplace else, and to establish it out in Asia. They knew that this system was going to die, and they knew that they just couldn't do it in a year or two. It would take a very long time. And this is why they've been doing it for a very long time. And it's been accelerating in the last, 8 years or so, since the financial crisis of 2008, because they realized, well, things are coming to an end very, very quickly. And we see right now they definitely are. And it looks like this is the last stage, setting up a petro yuan, setting up a petro ruble, setting up a physical gold exchange. The countries have been buying gold left and right. These are the countries that trade in gold. These are the countries that have gold. And you can see right now, they are almost ready to move everything. The one thing they need is a distraction. And this is why you need to be prepared and ready, because we can see right now that all of this is being done, and it's moving at a faster and faster pace, because they realize they're trying to keep this entire system together. And if they can't keep it together, well, the whole system falls apart, and it will be blamed on the central bank. Now, they can't let this happen, because if they do let it happen, the rest of the world is going to say, well, wait a minute. The central banks, they manage the entire economy, not just here in the U.S., but around the world, and the entire system just crashed because of too much debt, because of what they've done, because of stimulus. They cannot let this happen. This is why you can be assured that there's going to be some type of distraction, to show that, oh, this is the real reason, or this is the fake reason why the economy came down. And later on, they can say, well, because the economy was brought down, we need to restart it someplace else, because the systems were very damaged in the U.S., the banking system was very damaged in the U.S., and we need to move it someplace else. And look, just so happens that Russia, China, and the other nations, they all have this gold, which people are looking at this and they see stability. They see that, oh, okay, this could be a system that we can use. And this is why they've been doing it all along, because they need to show the world that you can have faith in the new system. So no matter what's happening right now, everything is getting ready for this major reset. And I know people have been talking about a reset for a long time, but it takes a long time to move everything without people really noticing. They notice a little bit, but they don't understand why this is all happening. And in the end, when you look back, you say, holy moly, look what just happened here. And you can see the entire picture. But while it's happening, People can't really wrap their brains around it, but we can see what's happening. We've been following it. We've been tracking it. This is why you need to be prepared. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.